Up next on Inside ChampCar, revving it up with RVA graphics and wraps. Welcome to Inside ChampCar. I'm Brian Bielanski. He's Bill Strong. And our guest today is Donnie Girard from... It's a big payoff when we get to Donnie. You got to have like a walk-up song and everything. So, anyway, how you doing, Donnie?
Doing good, doing real good.
Welcome to the show, and you are the chief mechanic for RVA Graphics and Wraps, right?
Yeah, try to be.
And do you also work for RVA Graphics and Wraps?
I work for Woodfin, which is one of the.
It's the parent company.
Yeah,
it's the parent company of everybody. Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, actually, everybody on our race team works for.
That's what I thought. That's why I asked. Yeah.
And just as a disclaimer, there, one of the people on my race team worked for him as well.
Yes.
Among other things, he's not only is he on your race team,
we call him the chosen one around here. My son.
How does that happen?
You know, Mom.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I got you.
He's actually on my basketball team for Woodfin also.
He's 6 foot.
He was a game changer. He's a game changer.
Yeah, that's why they hired him. It wasn't because of his mad skills. It was because he's 6'6" or something.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah. That's
and
cool.
he's a heck of an HVAC technician also.
Yeah. All right. Enough of my family. Let's go on with yours. You've got a son that's pretty darn good, Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Or Danger Austin. Austin Dodge.
Yeah.
Hell of a driver. I mean, you and them, they all run together on the team. Austin works for the company too, right?
Yeah, he's a propane manager.
Propane and propane accessories?
Yeah.
Is that overused? Is that overused in your business?
No, absolutely not. Never.
So
yeah, go ahead.
You can ask the question.
So Donnie, how did you get started in this mad craziness we call racing?
Well, my dad was a gearhead, and he raced cars. He used to run a division called Baby Grands back in the day. And when I started racing flat track motorcycles in 1974 at Richmond Fairgrounds.
You were like 6, right?
6. Yep, 6.
Yeah.
It was and then went from there, went to go-karts, motorcycles, and then when I was old enough to go to cars, did that for a while. And
like what kind of cars? Like dirt track,
yeah. Well, I ran it was a mini modified class, S-Slinger, 2-liter S-Slingers. I don't know if you know about that stuff. Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder Pinto motors that make 300 horsepower.
Right, yeah.
And it, I worked for a race car builder and learned how the craft from there, from Rick Townsend. I don't know who that is, but
these names that you're dropping, I hear a lot of them from another guy I work with. Right. Ray Frank.
Yeah, well, Ray Frank, believe it or not, Ray Frank was one of my childhood heroes. I mean, he was a real deal. I know he gets to, he enjoys doing all the ChampCar stuff, but he is a magician when it comes to a paint booth, and he was a heck of a driver back in the day. Built some very, very important race cars.
Yeah, some historically important race cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny how people look at him or hear him or whatever. Who's this guy over here? It's like, you don't know Ray Frank?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the race when we were at the 24 with the white Audi, and the strut tower broke.
Was that the one you guys stalled right on the back straight with me coming right up on you? Yeah.
Well, it was
I guarantee you it wasn't the pressure you were giving them.
Yeah, well, it could have been, because we struggled with that Audi. But I was welding the strut tower back in the car, and he walked over there and he started talking, and I looked up and he's like, "How do I know?" And of course, he hadn't seen me since I was 8 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he was like, and then of course it's like we haven't been apart since. Good guy.
So you guys, you started with. Were you on the team working with the team when they were doing lemons back in 2009, 2010?
No, Justin asked me a couple times, and it actually was funny. He asked me about the lemon stuff, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to dress up in a cowboy outfit and whatever."
Come on.
Donnie's only like 5'8", man, so you don't want to see him in a
with heels. I might not be 5'8". My license may say 5'8", but I don't know if I'm.
It's good to have a fellow vertically challenged human on this podcast for a change.
Well, yeah. We have. See, the funny part is Austin's. He's short like I am, and our racers go from Austin being 5'7" to Charles, who's 6'6", and all of them the same. And Justin was, what is Justin, 6'3",
8 foot? Yeah.
So, but everybody would get in the same race car, and it was just comical because not one person in the car is comfortable.
Yeah.
I always tell people I am the perfect height for a race car driver. My width is the problem.
Yeah. Well.
So why didn't you want to run lemons? You didn't want to work.
Well, the running off the track thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying, they've got a great thing going over there. It's fine if that's what you want to do. I'm not much into the dog and pony show. I'm more one of the racing thing, and I don't expect to, I want to go there I want to go race. I want to go race to win. And, of course you can't win every race, but you want to be competitive. But the lemons things, back in the day when Justin was talking about it, it was, hey, you win too many races. And I'm pretty sure it was an S500 that they were racing.
Yeah, it was a pretty badass car.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. And then they, but they loved it because it made like 1 million horsepower, and brake fade on like the pay flap.
Yeah, and they're running on like old tires and stuff.
Oh
too.
yeah,
like we were using crappy tires.
And they drove the heck out of it. And one day we were doing whatever, and Justin's like, "Hey man, come by the shop. I need help me do something." And then the next race, it was Watkins Glen. Not Watkins Glen, I'm sorry, Summit Point. And I haven't really missed any since. That was.
Have you driven the cars? Because you're mostly the mechanic guy, but you do drive.
I've raced at Sebring. I'm more of a circle track guy. I race go-karts for 100, race WK go-karts and, race circle track. I'm okay at road course stuff, but I had carbon monoxide poisoning. I don't know if you've ever known anybody that's had that before. I was probably 21 or 22 racing, and I just struggle with it. My races have to be pretty short, and 2 hours is not inside that window.
Oh, right. Understandable.
Yeah, because I raced at Sebring, and I was like an hour in. I don't even know if I made it an hour. I'm like, okay, y'all have 2 laps, and then I'm coming down pit road with or without somebody to get in it.
Well, at Sebring, that would have been hard because there's only a couple of left-hand turns. Most of them are right.
Yeah. Well, the thing is to me, and I've grown to really like Sebring.
Come on, that was a circle track joke.
Yeah.
We understood. We just ignored you.
I actually wish ChampCar would do a circle track race.
Dude.
We actually had a group. Y'all talked about it before. Now we actually, Austin and I, and it would be, there's a lot of people would have some big time fun with
years ago, April Fool's Day, I posted up that Mike Chiswick was going, had agreed with whatever circle track I found a picture of up in, what's the one out by, in Virginia, Kentucky border, Tennessee border, whatever.
Bristol?
Is it Bristol? Yeah, I think I said it was Bristol. We were going to race it. We had signed an agreement with Bristol, and it was going to, the date was to be determined or something like that. Or we figured out a date, and the internet went nuts. It's like people forgot it was so funny, and they were serious. And some people were really upset when they found out it was an April Fool's joke.
I probably was one of them.
I didn't. Yeah, and guys were like lining up to build cars for it. And Chiswick's like, dude, why'd you do that? Why did you do that? I said, dude, this is so funny.
You could do it at a small enough track, Yeah. But it just would be fun.
Race, and I can't. There's a paperclip one and one that's not a paperclip. Martinsville and
Martinsville's a paperclip.
Yeah.
Martinsville's a paperclip.
Yeah, and Bristol's the football stadium.
Bristol, you reckon you can get Bristol is a track to get hurt at. You got a lot better chance of making it at Martinsville.
Martinsville, okay.
Yeah.
So now, how about tire wear at Martinsville?
Well, that's what makes it better because you have tire wear. You don't want to not have tire wear.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys
know
got
that
cars that are going 24 hours on a set of tires. They don't want tires.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could definitely do 2 races. I think that, just my opinion. I'm 55 years old. 24 hours of anything. I don't care if it's watching TV is taxing.
Yeah.
But you're out there. I mean, you're working.
Yeah. No, we've never won one. We finished third. Last year August we were running third with 12 minutes to go, and lift pump failed, and we were.
You blame do you blame the mechanic for that?
Yeah, well, no.
Does everybody look at you in your direction when?
Well, the funny thing is everybody, as humans, we all go, what could happen? And then we're like, then everybody goes, did we put enough fuel in it? I'm like, of course we put enough fuel in it.
Yeah.
And everything, we're like, then it comes in and we're like, well, we go over the diag. I was like, obviously it's not sucking fuel. So Will Robusto was with us. You know who he is?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's also an amazing race car driver. Also, young man. He has got a heck of a future. And we're pushing it back from Tech because Andrew just says, hey, just park over there. Y'all finish 4th. And somebody said, try and start it up. And he said, please don't start it up because I'm afraid if it starts, that's the worst thing that could happen, So
yeah,
we handled it pretty well. We were pretty dejected because we wanted another 3rd place. But actually, Chris and I think it's the Bulldog team.
Yeah.
They had some bad luck right at the beginning of the race and lost some laps that was probably not necessary, but it happened. And they ended up beating us by that lap. They passed us, because we were in the pits, but you're still racing 24 hours. You've got to make it the whole time.
It's tough, man.
It is.
You guys have been doing this a long time. You do about 4 to 5, 6 races a year with us, somewhere around there.
Try to run 2 cars at 5 to 6 times. It was tough this year. It was a lot.
Yeah. And then but yeah, you guys, and you've been doing this since you started.
Yeah.
Were you guys at the first 24-hour VIR on South Course, or you did?
My first 24 that I went to, we destroyed the Audi, and then we actually had another V8 Quattro manual transmission car that we actually just bought and stripped it and fixed the car. And there, I don't know. I don't know how Justin found it, but he found it. And then we had to go back, next week and pick the car up, the rest of it. But I don't know. The first 24 I remember being competitive at was the one when they had just resealed the track, repaved the track, and there was no lines.
Oh yeah, that was a little scary at night. Let me tell you, no reflective, no nothing.
No, Austin said Austin goes, I'm off the track. I'm so far off the track I can't see anybody's lights.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember that race. That was so bad, and it rained,
Mm-hmm.
so you couldn't tell the difference between the track and the green grass.
Nope. We ended up actually, we were running 2nd or 3rd when the monsoon hit, about midnight or something like that. And there was this huge crash on the front stretch, and we got turned around backwards. And, I think a wave came in inside the car, whatever, and drowned the computer, put us out of our misery kind of thing. But, like I said, I think we'd like to win a 24. We won the 24 at Nelson Ledges.
Yeah, I remember that.
So how do you guys manage 2 cars? Is it the same crew for both cars?
3.
Or 3 cars?
Yeah, so a lot of times we kind of we start a car and kind of see how it works. So this is, we've done it a bunch of different ways. We're trying to, bring on some more people to drive, inside the company. So it's a little bit of a learning curve on that. We have Charles Reed, who's been driving forever, and he's super strong. You got Farron and Austin. You got Jack, of course. Jack's very, very fast at the VIRs and places like that. You got Travis Litchford, So we have a good group of guys. Just getting them all in the same place, at one time is kind of tricky because life gets in the way. Kids growing up, kids at college and stuff like that. But we have two. We try to race 2 cars at most tracks we go to, and we do have 2 different crews. I kind of go over and make sure things are going as best they can, kind of thing.
Right.
Make sure the air pressure is going the way it's supposed to, and make some simple changes during the race to keep things moving in the right direction. But,
so Bill, when you've got multi-car teams, do you try to make sure they're all pitted together so that one's not 50 yards down the?
Yeah, there's times when we want to pit them separately because they're so good, or but no, yeah, we put them all together.
Okay,
and we try to, I don't know how Chelsea does it now because I really haven't seen how she does it yet, but in the past we've Chiswick and Mike Morrison and Dana would kind of pit all the Miatas together and the E30s together and the 2 MR2s together and kind of the Toyotas together, so because we all work together.
So, well, part of that, and I completely agree, and I was thinking about when you were talking, the self-policing part of the series, it does help when when the guys are like, us pitting near Huggins and them, those pinky out guys, they're fast, and they do a great job, and they've been at it forever. And Chip, I mean, you don't get any better than those guys. I mean, but they make us better. And with Cliff and them and NLS, I mean, golly,
God, those guys,
man, they're lights out, and they've just evolved, huge in the last 2 or 3 years. But hitting us all by each other, you don't have to worry about, go check on it. It helps take care of itself. As far as I'm concerned, I think that's a great plan.
And back in the day when my team was actually a little relevant, not that we were relevant, but the they would pit us near what was that team with the big the Ford or Mercury,
the
Rusty Cougar,
Rusty Cougar. Drunken Squirrel, not the Squirrel. What is it?
Drunken Squirrels, yes, they were Drunken Squirrels, or they were something else. They were probably not a safe for eating.
They were fast. They were really fast.
Oh my God, they were good. Yeah, they were all circle track racers at one point.
Oh yeah, well, we went to Summit Point. We saw when they were in Tech. I was like, this is not a Cougar.
But they specialized in Fords. But they would pit us near them. And his wife, who recently passed away sadly, she ran the garage and did everything there. But she was a mechanic, and she was just all over the MR2 and would watch us, with the stopwatch, making sure we did our 5-minute field stops. And we used to have a lot of folks on pit lane that would do that kind of stuff.
Well, and you said
self-policing, it's always a good thing.
You said self-policing is easier. It's also less tempting to try to do something funky-dunky when you know that the people right next to you are looking real close.
Oh, we get it all the time. We get a text, hey, you might want to come watch this guy.
Absolutely. The thing is it's amazing the level of talent or how educated a lot of the guys are that we race against, because you're not going to pull any stuff over on them. If you pass some, our cars, we pass people where we're supposed to pass them. We drive past you on the straightaway, then something else is going on.
Right.
We have HO builds an amazingly good engine that is just as reliable as anything out there. But there's. We know the what is it? The good, the bad, and the ugly. That's speed right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been passed by him. I got passed. I think the scariest.
There's somebody who's not passed you.
What?
Bill said, I haven't been passed by him. I'm like, there's somebody.
Remember when they drove the probe?
Yeah, the yellow probe.
They passed me in that. Yeah, that thing was fast.
They won't pass like that Corvette's fast.
No. I haven't been racing since. I don't. Well, wait, no, maybe I did get passed by them at VIR, the 24. So, I don't know. But yeah. So you've driven, you're working on these cars. What is the weekend secret in prepping to take all these cars and the teams and corral everybody? What is the secret to success? Because you guys are a successful team.
We we try to plan. We have a Wednesday night shop night, and of course, as everybody gets older, Wednesday nights sometimes isn't the right night for everybody. So, we send our spreadsheets out. I send a spreadsheet out, or I'll do dry race boards, and I say, hey, here's a list for this car and this car and this car, and I'll leave some things off that I just want to take care of. But we all work together. Try to task guys with the certain things that fit inside their wheelhouse of what they can do, and just try to make it as enjoyable as possible. It's always fun when you get to the racetrack. Getting to the racetrack sometimes is it isn't always the fun, but that's actually the part that I enjoy the most. The racing, the competition. I like to go out there and BS with everybody, stuff like that. But I really do. I worry about lap times. I'm like, okay, let's see how fast we can get the cars going, and then we need to pull back to, because you can't run at 10/10s, because then you hand the car off to the next guy and there's nothing left.
Right.
Yeah. So that corralling that up, we're getting better at it. But the level of competition in this series is unbelievable.
Remember when it used to be easy?
Yeah, I remember how it was easy. I don't want to never say easy, but it was easy, different, sure, because you win a race now, and we've
done something. Yeah.
We finished third at Pittsburgh, and we felt like that was we did all we could do. Honest and truthfully, we felt like we accomplished what we needed to do, and we'd like to do the same thing when we go to VIR North. I mean, we'd like to win, but we try to be realistic and get what we need to get into the national championship, and then go from broke there.
So how does our series compare, the racing compared to like working in a series like the GR86 Cup? Because that's kind of what you guys are doing as well this year.
Yeah. Well, the GR Cup, that every time, where they have a whole group of officials that plug and get full data every time you stop the car. It's a pretty well run series. As far as the stress level, it's only a 45-minute race, so everybody's 12/10 the entire time.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? So, and you have people who are in their 50s to 15, 16. Yeah. So, and half the Toyota factory drivers, you have Corey Haim, you have Gresham Wagner, who isn't a factory driver, who, I mean, he can really get it done. There's 10, 15 guys out there that can win anytime they go. And they go, they've wore their welcome out in other series.
Oh, really? Because they win so much. Yeah. So Donnie, or your son Austin Dodge, stepson, he did quite well in there. Top 10.
Yeah. He I think his best finish was a 5th. That was at Sonoma, which I'm not sure. I think I'm going to say it's that Sebring's probably his favorite track. Mm-hmm. And I think he would have podiumed there. He got penalized for some turning a driver, which it just happened. It wasn't nothing. It looked like
wanted to say hi to him through the front windshield.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. But there, I tell you that series is very, very strong, and it takes every bit of energy. You can't think about anything. You can't think about work. You just go 1,000% focus, and if you make a mistake, I mean, they'll freight train you. It's just so you a 1/10 of a second a lap is everything.
Now, Woodfin owner Jack Woodfin, he drove a VIR, and I noticed, I'd seen results from the cars, and they were mid-pack up front, but that race they were kind of further back than what I thought. You guys had some issues, I guess, qualifying. But how did Jack take to that? Because Jack doesn't really run in the series. He ran that one race, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say that's something that Jack probably always wanted to do. I mean, Jack's driven an Indy car before. He's
and he does quite well in ChampCar too. So yeah.
I mean, getting the most out of a car, he'll get every bit of it. Whatever it's got, he's going to get it.
Yeah,
and he does really well. And I'll tell you, he's actually really, we have a simulator at our race shop, and he spends a lot of time on that, and it is definitely honed his skills. His racecraft has evolved really nicely on it. So.
But he does quite well in ChampCar too. So we've interviewed him a whole bunch of times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And he's very, it's a give and take, and he does very well at it.
Who's your best driver that's not your boss?
It depends. As far as, well, I'm gonna say bringing cars back in one piece is definitely Charles Reed. And he whatever he's going to give you.
And Charles is a really thin, tall guy, right?
Exactly. And he's going to give you a number, and he is going to run it. It doesn't matter. He's going to do it, and he's going to make sure that his main goal is to get the car back in one piece. So he probably Farron, another one. Farron's his hardest critic. Him and Austin. They can run a perfect stint and come in and try to tear themselves apart on what they do right or wrong, kind of thing. I'm going to say we have a very, very level playing field. I mean, Austin's fast, but Austin should be fast. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound silly.
No. I mean, he's young and
he races 12 times a year. Well, I mean, I'm going to say he probably ran 30 races this year.
Right, and that helps.
And yeah.
So who has the most fun in the rain? Who likes the rain the best?
I don't think we have a rain driver, honestly.
You park it?
No,
the mechanic would like you to park it.
Yes.
I tell you what, the race at Pittsburgh when Chelsea stopped it, Farron was ready to come. He'd had all he needed. I'm going to say we won the race at Charlotte in the rain.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anybody liking that either.
Charlotte sucked in the rain.
It did.
I ran
a door fall off in the rain.
Oh, how does that happen?
Yeah. One of the
mechanic.
Yeah.
The mechanic.
I wish we put a bungee cord on it and made it live. I don't know. Just one of those things.
Yeah.
But
so it's funny in the tower when you get that report of 16 control, and go ahead, and door open on car 111. Just it's funny.
Yeah.
I guess you have to be in the tower to get that. But yeah, it's just, and you think door just opened, or their door fell off, or their hood fell off, or whatever.
Yeah, my favorite is the hood up on top of the.
Yeah, and they're still, and their lap times really haven't changed.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, that happened to Farron at Fontana. We won on Saturday, and we were about 30 minutes left, and all we had to do was really bring it home at this point.
Right.
And one of the hood pins broke because they were hollow hood pins, which is anybody out there have them, take them off, please. But
that sounds like a bad idea.
It was a horrible. It seemed like a good idea until it wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the hood busted the windshield out of the car and laid it in Farron's lap.
Oh, that's big time.
And it's like Farron got out of the car. He's like, I've had enough. So we just took the windshield and threw it in the trash can. And there wasn't even a, hey, let's go finish a race. There wasn't any of that because there was nothing. He's like, that's it for me. I'm out.
Yeah.
Troy ran a race. They ran AMP with the banana car, the green one that got bent in half by that Porsche. And they tried running, I think it was the race next day without a window. And they said that was the worst thing they'd ever done. Yeah. Just from the amount of crap that gets thrown at you.
Oh, yeah.
On track.
AMP.
I saw one time a car with the hood pops up, and then when they get it, and they're trying to get it back down, and it took like 3 guys to sit on it because it bent when it came up, and they get it back on the hood pins.
It's funny. You see it happen on TV, and it's a slow thing.
Right.
I've seen it in real life at a car doing 100 miles an hour. It ain't slow.
No. It's not slow at all.
It's there, and then it's here.
Yeah.
And the car's all over the place. Guys trying to figure out how to look out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened fast. I think it was at Road Atlanta. I just remember looking over at turn 1 as I'm coming down the hill, kind of setting my line up, and just I forget their names. They had that multicolored BMW from up in Wisconsin area, and they got caught for some sort of ECU out west. But they that hood went up on that car, and it was just instant. And it was like, wow. God. And I almost missed my turn just thinking about that hood coming. We were lucky.
Every time we go to Road Atlanta, the test day is like amazingly nice, and then race it's like 35 degrees.
That's why we're doing a test day all weekend.
That's right. Maybe we need to call it that. Yeah.
So you've been doing ChampCar for a long time. You've seen it go from when it was easier to what it is today. Do you like the direction it's all gone?
Yeah, I mean, evolution has to happen. You know, what do they say? You're either growing or dying kind of thing. But, you know, the thing is, anytime your series grows, you know, you want to make sure it grows with integrity. You know, people want you to revisit the rules, you know, you get beat up on this, you know, you go to the racetrack and, you know, they say, oh, this turns into a spec Boxster class or whatever. You know, the thing is right now, everybody's finding a special thing that makes them click, you know, and forever it was E30s. And, you know, do I be honest, say, do they need to look at some of the point value on some of the older cars? Maybe, you know, I think it would benefit the series, you know, because you don't want it to turn into everybody driving around in the same kind of cars.
Right.
So, I mean, I really enjoy it. I mean, I love going there. I love the atmosphere. You know, it's fair. You know, I'm talking about the competition, you know.
Yeah.
We've had races where we won and we truly won the race, and we went to the racetrack and got our butts kicked. And, you know, it's why it's called racing and not winning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, it's like as something gets bigger and gets more popular and you get more people involved, it's just harder and harder to try to make everybody happy. And I watch social media for a lot of different racing series, and the worst thing that you can do is try to make everybody happy, because then everybody's going to be miserable.
Oh, I can make everybody pissed off in 5, 4.
We learned that earlier today.
Oh, geez, the internet hated me this morning and this afternoon.
Yeah,
and probably now.
Yeah.
And now my son's telling me I was desperate to get Donnie on the show. Yes, Donnie's a star.
Yeah, Donnie's been great.
Yeah, so, I answered the text message.
So what's ahead for RVA on the racetrack? What do you guys got coming? Anything new? Anything exciting?
Well, we're gonna try to bring a new group of drivers to the North Course. I think one of the things that I see that needs to happen is people need to embrace new drivers. You know, when people go out there and they're learning and they're in the way and they make a bad move and they don't hold their line, and because they're overwhelmed and you know, everybody goes by them at 400 miles an hour.
Right.
We're bringing a group of virgin drivers, I would say, never been on the racetrack before, and they're going to run a proper race. I feel I think VIR North is a great race for a new driver to race at. We're going to see how it works, and we're going to bring the 3 cars, the 111, the 411, and the 311.
So we get that in the tower where people come up and they're showing us video, and you see, you know, it's like he's new. It's like, well, yeah, that's what we want.
And remember,
but, you know, I'm a pro. Well, good,
but you were new once too.
Yeah.
And
remember what it was like when you were new.
Yeah. So they forget. They forget what it feels. They forget when you make. And you know what? No matter how, you're still human. You're going to make a mistake.
Right.
And owning a mistake is probably one of the most important parts. Is, you know, there's nothing wrong with walking down saying my bad or whatever. Yep. You know, it's when people get on there and make it out like, you know, paid ChampCar drivers, or, you know, that's not, you know, you do have to, it has to somehow be fun in this whole deal, but you gotta embrace the new drivers. You gotta teach people, you gotta be willing to help people when they're off,
right?
Because that'll come back to help you in the long run.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like
we've had newer drivers that have gone on to do quite well,
right?
You know, and they learned their skills. So, you know, not that they were going to go on and run Indy cars, but we're waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the top drawer of my toolbox says ratchets and victory speeches. And the bottom drawer of my toolbox says wrenches and excuses.
Excuses.
You gotta be able to take the good with the bad.
You have to, and you have to try to be as humble as possible throughout the,
absolutely.
Because it all depends. Let me tell you, it depends what you can go find a butt whipping if you need it. Don't ever think you're the king of the hill, because there's always somebody bigger and badder.
Yep.
And we've learned that.
Well, it's funny you say that, because we had spoken earlier this year, and it was high hopes that you guys were going to go out there and dominate the whatever series you're running in, the GR series, let's say, and not dominate, but you're going to do really well. And then you watch the races, and it's like, wow, you're doing really good, but there's a lot of drivers that really put it on the line and really push it to the limit.
Absolutely.
And and that was something that I kind of, I thought I was good. Of course, I'm not. Ask Chip. But when you get with a driver and you watch his video and you just look at all the chances they take and where the places they put that car, like, I probably wouldn't have done that. But that's how you get to the win. So by doing that kind of stuff and really pushing the hardware's limit.
And we try to help coach the guys on the team, like I said, Farron and Austin, they get data and they'll go around and say, hey, we got to do here, fourth gear here, don't lift. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you can't,
don't lift.
You can't, don't burp the throttle, just keep, because, our cars, we don't make enough power. So, it's all momentum.
Yeah.
You breathe it and you're in trouble. And so we try hard as a team. Like I said, the beginning of the question was, about how the series is going, and you're seeing some big time. I mean, Bill Riley, good Lord, does it get bigger?
Yeah.
He walked up to me. Funny story, at Coda, and we were out there, and it was kind of mist and raining, and we were running. I don't know, we were running, 6 to 8, 11. It depends what corner it is where you're running.
Right.
And he walked over to me and he put his arm around my shoulder and he said, ChampCar ain't so bad, is it? I said, man, I'm telling you what, it's a lot. I mean, you realize what some of these people put into racing. It is unbelievable. Some of those cars.
Yeah. And the people you're racing against, like you say, Bill Riley. I mean, who I never knew I'd get to race with a family that's, against a family that's, I'm watching our live stream here. Just doing
I had a button pressed wrong.
Yeah. But just, racing with people that are just legends in the racing world, not just here in the States, but outside the United States. I mean, I met his dad. Then other people, it's just that race with us. And some of them, you don't even really know that they're racing with us. We've already got a guy that's won, class at Le Mans that's already signed up for the VIR 24 this year or next year.
Yeah.
So, Ben Keating, and he races with us and loves us, Yeah. And so it's like, that's the coolest thing ever. Michael Fassbender, I watched a movie with him the other night. He's raced with us too. So,
and then you
superhero.
You also look at the quality of the tracks that you guys go to.
And the Top Gear guys.
And I never thought when I started doing this 35 years ago that I'd ever have a chance to race at Indy. Never once.
Yeah.
And I know it's not on the schedule next year, but it will probably be on the schedule again.
25. Yeah, we're going to do Indy again. It's just getting, we had a lot of things we had to get over the last couple of months. So,
and
now that we're through that, we're going to work on next year, getting some new tracks. And I've got Circle Track written down on my notes here.
No, but my point is, there's those bucket list tracks that, when I grew up, the only race that ever happened at Indianapolis Motor Speedway was the Indy 500. There was no Formula One. There was no Brickyard 400. There was nothing. And I was never going to race IndyCar. No, sorry. Didn't have the money. Didn't have the right last name. Definitely didn't have the talent, But now, you guys and you can go vintage racing there every once in a while. And, you know, it's now a possibility, and I am like bucket list. Well, it's going to happen. I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
So cool.
And it's any of the tracks out there. I mean, Laguna.
Yeah.
Who never thought I'd race at Laguna Seca? You know,
Yeah.
even when I lived in California, it was a place that you just didn't go. You know.
Yeah. It felt like unobtainium.
Yeah.
It definitely.
I finally got to race there.
Felt like
always felt that Laguna Seca was a motorcycle track. It just seems like it always seems like it fared better to the motorcycles. I mean, I know it could be.
There was a couple of spots. I mean, it's a good it's a fun track to race on. There was a couple of parts that are not the corkscrew that I actually enjoyed more than the corkscrew, because every time I came down the corkscrew, I just heard my splitter just going, you know, and it's just, I have to fix that Monday morning or when I get home in a week.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I think Laguna makes more sense for like an IndyCar or a motorcycle, something that, you know, has that really stiff suspension kind of feel to it. I've seen IMSA there, and it just looks like you're really wrestling the race car in some of those spots.
We're still waiting for a date for Laguna.
Okay.
If you know, I know that we haven't talked about it for about a week.
Right.
So we're still waiting, and that probably won't come until probably December. So
sure.
You know, there's a bit to go. So, you know, Sonoma's we just didn't get the numbers at Sonoma.
Well, I mean,
national championship.
Yeah. It's I've never raced at Watkins Glen. I'd like to.
Oh, that's a fun track.
Yeah.
It's
that would be a fun national.
It's a little more difficult than you think. The S's for me were the best. The S's and going through the toe of the boot. Yeah. That was just that was cool. Fun. That was a fun track. I do like. And the bus stop or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
They don't call it a bus stop. They call it
whatever they call it.
Yeah.
If we can get through the North course and have a good finish with the orange car and get into the national championship. NCM, we Farron and Austin and the guys, they
did well there, didn't they? Or they won their national championship there, right?
They've won, I'm going to say 5 or 6 races there.
Yeah.
And you guys have won the national championship twice.
Yep. 2018 and 20, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else?
20 with an asterisk because of COVID? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
No. All right,
Come on, man. We got to fit an asterisk in there somewhere.
Before Bills gets himself in any more trouble, anything else for him before we let Donnie go here?
No, you know, you got to be a little harder on my son out there.
No, I'll tell you, he's, you know, when he got his shot, when he come on board, and because he was like, I can do it, you know, just give me a shot, and that's all he asked, and he has definitely embraced it and taken full advantage of it. Now, I know they're very, very happy with him. So your wife did a good job.
Yes, she did.
Well said. Well said.
The chosen one has done well. So yeah. And he's getting married. So
hey, and I met her today or yesterday. I met her also.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know, she's going to be a doctor. So yeah,
he's
done quite well. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations to you now.
Yeah. You can come off the payroll.
That's right. Yeah.
All right,
Donnie. Thanks, man.
All right, thank y'all.
So we forgot to give you the speech, Donnie. Just click leave the meeting, and you can head on off to have yourself a great evening.
All right, y'all have a good night.
All right,
you
thanks.
too, man.
That's Donnie Girard from RVA Graphics and
Wraps.
Graphics and Wraps. Sorry, I apologize.
You got to add that part.
And and Bill, you know what? I did some work over the weekend. We don't have to take a break anymore.
Good.
Look, I mean, the buttons are it's a one button press to get to the next segment.
I like that. I like that.
So,
yeah. Of course, I probably don't have anything built for that. So
that's okay.
Today, I don't know if you guys watch me on the internet, which most of you don't. I had a issue with blood pressure. You're supposed to be in. Yeah, high score doesn't win.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in the like 120 to 80 range.
Yeah,
Just
I wasn't in that. Yeah.
Let's not talk about the number.
But I had to go spend some time at the doctor today and get that fixed. And
good.
You know, so we're good.
Nice.
But yeah, it's been a busy week.
I bet.
We've worked on, we're still working on the subs. We've got a couple of them up. I'm still waiting for the what do you call that? The style of race we're going to do for the national championship. That's up to Chelsea, and we just really haven't.
Now, when you say
getting
style,
a lot of
what
style.
does that mean?
So will it be park fermé?
Ah, okay, I got you.
Where you stop overnight, nobody can work on the car, or do we do it as multiple races? 2 races.
Right.
I suggested, why don't we do something, park fermé, but they get an hour to work on their car, maybe half an hour to work on their car, change their brakes. They can't fuel or do anything like that, but just to fix a car. I mean, but then this gives the advantage to whoever.
It's hard to police that, isn't it?
Huh?
Isn't it kind of hard to police that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Well, they can't do. It's easy to do the fuel part.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I just like to. I kind of miss the old days when we did the sprint racing. That was, you did a 45-minute sprint race or maybe an hour sprint race, and then or maybe it was 45 minutes, and then you had like 15 or 20 minutes to get back out on the track, and they were kind of fun.
Yeah.
It made you think about, what you had to, because it was only one guy running, it was me, so I had to think on my last laps, what do I have to do to the car to get it ready for the next race? And
so
none of them said put new tires on the car. Huh?
Did you do multiple sprint races with brakes in the middle?
I think it was like 6 races. So
okay.
Lowest score won. So
interesting.
Yeah. They averted the field a couple times. It was kind of fun. It was neat. But there's a lot of folks that don't like that short stuff.
Anything else new and exciting? We've got a couple of weeks before you go back racing on December 2nd and 3rd. So you're not quite there yet. Going to have a nice holiday.
Well, tomorrow I head down to Jimmy. I'm going down to North Carolina to work with Jimmy on getting some stuff ready for next year.
Okay.
And the races, I think we have 2 races coming up. They're getting some big numbers, man. For the RVA Graphics and Wraps on the North, we've got 48 cars signed up. So
nice.
Since we're on the North course, which is the main paddock, we have room for 100 cars. So we got plenty of room at that one. But pause.
Yep.
We are up to 79 cars for Sebring, the double.
That's awesome.
And knowing how that works, there may be another 20 or so entries at that race. So, yeah, that's going to be a pretty wild one, I think, New Year's Eve. And I heard through the grapevine that Huggins is pulling all the stops out and was going to try and win that race down there. Then I just noticed there's some big teams entered, and where is
it? Clicking. That's the sound of Bill
good,
clicking.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Good, Bad, and the Ugly is signed up. Bliss is taking their Camaro down there. I really want to drive a Camaro at Sebring. God, that would be so much fun. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Atlanta Speedworks bringing a whole bunch of cars down there. They've got 3 cars there. Average Joe's, they've done quite well this year. They're going down there. I think everybody's looking for those final points for the national championship in NCM.
And why wouldn't they?
Yeah. So, and the fun thing is that Good, Bad, and the Ugly is not at the top of the heap. He's right at the bottom of the cutoff.
All right.
I think he's using this to try and get himself back up there.
Yeah.
Team Infinity will be there with their J30, and they have a good history there. The 2 Salins cars are showing up, so that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And Tuttle Motorsports.
Nice.
Bringing his Cadillac ATS.
Very cool.
So, yeah, that'll be kind of cool. That's a new car. Tuttle has a good history there.
Yeah.
Well, kind of good. But
very nice.
But yeah, lots of folks going to that race. And then, of course, we're in the, not only are we planning these next 2 races, we're already in the planning for next year. We've got Road Atlanta coming up. And I like to do a public apology here. We had some typos on the schedule, the things we printed up or whatever and sent out. Hell, I have one up on a Grassroots Motorsport magazine coming out next month. Probably has the wrong dates on it. So,
oops.
I mean, they're close.
Right.
It would be, they may show up like a Tuesday race. Well, no, they're Saturday and Sunday. Part of it was legacy from the previous management, and I just copied and pasted, not checking.
Wait a second.
Dummy.
Are you human?
No. Yes. I make these typos all the time because, but they are fixed on our schedule page. So, and everything there. And I'll get everybody wants to see a map. so they can visual. You got people that are visual.
Yes.
They want to see where all the races are. So I'll have that up. I've kind of got
you.
that done.
I got.
But I kind of want to wait for the Gingerman date and the date for Laguna Seca.
Sure.
Once we get those, then I'll get all that finalized out. We've got the prices up. Everything is ready to enter right now. And if you enter now, you're going to save $200.
Nice. Nice.
If you wait, their board's talking about adding a late fee, to help cover some of our costs.
Right.
But they're still debating that.
All right.
So just to give people a warning.
Yep. Got to think multi-crazy car.
That would be Ed.
Ed, okay. Timothy Elliott.
Yep.
John Wittenauer. All of our usual suspects in the chat. So
Speaking of John,
yes.
just let folks know we are still in the middle of our board of directors election going on.
Sure.
And if you just go to, check your email, every member that's current and up to date was emailed with the link to the election. And I'll be sending another email out probably tomorrow with an updated list because, people come and go.
Yep. When is the deadline to vote?
At the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the end of the month.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
No, there's so many dates in my head.
I
Most
know.
of them we've already passed up.
I love it.
Yeah. So let me check here just to make sure. You continue talking.
All right. Well, December 30th and
it
31st, you guys are going to Sebring for that holiday New Year's, and there's a shindig there too as well, right?
Well, the hotel
7
has a shindig.
Right. So it's not a ChampCar thing. It's a hotel
no, it's
thing.
not a ChampCar. No.
But you all could sit together and kind of hoop it up and have fun, right?
Yeah.
Also, the 24 Hours of VIR documentary, it's coming out November 18th.
Yep, that's coming out soon. That'll be fun to watch.
You want to go and check out Chris Sneed's Instagram and TikTok page to get a sneak peek. Someone sending you text
Donnie's
messages.
calling me.
Uh-oh. Well, we should wrap this up then. But anyway, that sounds like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see that. So, but anything else, Bill, before we head out?
Well, we got, like I said, November 1st is when the election began.
Right. That's passed.
I thought I put it on here. Well, it's November. It's the end of November.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
And, Tiffany and I will go through and start counting the votes up. And we got a lot of votes, buddy.
Yeah?
Lots. Oh, yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. How am I doing?
You're doing well.
Good. Good. Am I a front runner?
You're a runner.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We're kind of working on our schedule next year for ChampCar Live.
Yeah.
We've got a new sponsor for the ChampCar Live and this show.
Who is it? Who is it?
It is.
Oh, no, you don't have to say.
No, we can.
Oh, can we? Wait, I don't have a drum roll. I don't have a drum roll.
Yeah, let's just hold. We'll hold that.
Let's wait.
Yeah.
We should have them on as a guest to announce it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, let's announce it with them as a guest.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I have a good idea.
You do. You have lots that are good.
Usually they're too big that we can't implement them, but I have great ideas.
Great idea.
We're going to be on IMAX next year, everybody, and 70-millimeter cameras all around for all of ChampCar Live.
Oh, God, I wish. But no.
Oh, God, don't you, though? That would be so cool.
Yeah, but somebody has to set them up. Man.
Right, that's what you do, right?
Do you know how many things I do at a race?
Oh, you got plenty of time. Bill's going to turn.
Yeah.
Bill's going to turn off the stream.
Maybe I can get Chip to give me a hand.
There we go.
Doing some of this stuff.
There we go. Should I hit the button?
The like button?
Well, yeah. Like, subscribe.
Oh, we still have 5 minutes to go.
Well, no, I mean, your wife's calling. She wants you to come in.
No, that was Donnie.
That was
call me.
Oh, I thought that was Donnie. I thought it was your wife telling you got to change the laundry over or something.
No, she would come in and just yell at me. You'd hear it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I would be going, yes, dude.
Exactly.
No, she yelled at me last week because we were having too much fun.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to go to the top of the hour, but there's no
let's
rules.
go to the top of the hour. So
there's no rules here.
So what's going on out west, racing wise? Because you've been doing some stuff.
I'm done.
Oh, we haven't talked about your tire.
Have
in the
we not
background.
talked about this? Okay, I'm really stoked.
It's a good year.
It is a good year.
We have those on my truck.
You don't have these on your truck. So this tire, so I work with Goodyear with my other podcast, and there's a saying from Wayne Gretzky. He says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
So I talked to my guy at Goodyear way back in gosh, it must have been February, and I said, that Garage 56 thing you're doing at Le Mans. I know this will never happen, but it would be really cool if I could get a tire that raced on the number 24 car, the Garage 56 entry that actually raced during the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And he said, "Oh yeah, let me see what I can do." And I'm like, you know what? He's saying that he's being nice.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
And which is fine. I get that. So I meet up with him at a race later in the year, and he said where do I send your tire? And I had forgotten that I even asked for it. And I'm like, my tire? And because he also helped me with tires to go autocross. I'm like, but he said tire, singular. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell he's talking. And he goes, you asked me if I could get you a tire off the ground. And I'm like, no. So this tire has it has the markings on it, right rear number 24. And then on the other side, it's actually stamped G56.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. So it ran during the race, and it has Le Mans clag on it. They didn't even clean it. They didn't clean it off. It's literally as it came right off the tire. So right off the track. And,
so, being a car guy.
Oh yeah.
And having one of my garages is downstairs in my house.
Yeah.
When I bring tires in, it makes the house smell.
This does smell. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd your wife say about that?
Well, when it first came, like all the tires, they ended up in the living room for a couple of days because I couldn't figure out what to do with it. And she didn't say anything, but when I moved it into here, because it's a smaller room, it's only a 10 by 12 room. The first time I came in after putting it in, like, ooh.
Yeah.
So I've gotten used to it now.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever go away.
No.
Because this tire hasn't turned a wheel since June, and it still smells this way. So I hear there's some things I can do to dim that down a little bit. I haven't quite played around with it, but
put in that soaking stuff, then wrap it in cellophane.
Yeah. So this may end up as a glass top coffee table at some point in time.
Oh, yeah.
But I
don't know. That looks cool. Like that.
I kind of like it where it is.
Yeah.
And I built. Yeah. I made a little shelf to fit. Yeah. It just wedges in there perfectly for the helmet and everything. So so a big thank you to Jay Chapman at Goodyear. He's the guy who deals with all of the club racing tires. But I never really thought this would actually happen. So, and I'm not a big race memorabilia guy. I've worked at pro races, and I know I've got friends who take home, they take home the wrecked, bumper off of this, or the bent up this off of that, or the driving glove. It's never been a thing for me. But this is Le Mans. I mean, it's Le Mans.
It's funny. I brought home from Watkins Glen that the IMSA guys are out there testing stuff, and there next to one of the garages was a stack of like brake rotors.
Oh yeah,
and Brembos and these just badass things. And come to find out they were Bill Riley's. I could have just said, "Hey, Bill, can I have a brake?"
Well, and the other cool part about this is apparently there was a very, very tiny number of these that came back stateside.
Oh, wow.
He didn't tell me how many, but most of them stayed in Europe and were destroyed because they didn't want anybody looking at the tires in the compound. So I had to make promises that I would keep it to myself. I would never give it to anybody else. And if I did want to get rid of it, I would promise to send it back to Goodyear so they could dispose of it. Right. So, and I will do all of those things because that will never happen. This will never.
And you've said way too much already.
Yes.
So, speaking of Maxes. We've got Maxes coming back next year.
Okay,
It'll
good.
Be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll be back, and they will be joining us. I don't know what the discount's going to be. It's still going to be there. I don't think it's going to be as much because, everything's changed in the world.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but they're coming back. So for those looking for Maxxis tires, get it now.
Cool.
And they've got some new tire coming out too.
Awesome. So,
all right, guys.
Sounds good.
I think that's it for the day, and I'm going to go grab some high salt popcorn.
No, you're not. All right. Too fun.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Back to you, Brian.
All right. That's going to do it for another Inside ChampCar. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel so you won't miss any episodes. It'll also be great if you share it on your social media channels. You can comment on the ChampCar Facebook page, especially if it's a good one. If it's a bad one, well, you know how to find Bill. We found that out today.
Oh, yeah. Everybody.
He's Bill Strong. I'm Brian Bielanski. This is the Racing Wire Podcast Network and ChampCar Live on YouTube.